Who doesn't love the Belgian Grand Prix? It's the race, of course, that gave maiden pole positions to the Jordan and Force India teams, with Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella respectively. Jordan, of course, would then go on to better that here in 1998 with their first ever victory. And you can guarantee that something special will always happen at Spa-Francorchamps. But what that something is today is anybody's guess. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box to take you through all the action today. Now, it's a closely matched field here in Spa, so where do you think we're going to see somebody make a difference?
If they're as close as we're expecting them to be, especially through the midfield, then being able to keep the front tyres in good condition could make the difference. You always lose a chunk of downforce at the front when you're in the turbulent air of another car, which tends to cause understeer, which in turn causes front tyre degradation. Now, too much damage there could force an early pit stop and put you at a slight disadvantage, so the drivers will want to be careful not to be too aggressive early on in the Grand Prix.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's Haas in pole position then, and it's Kevin Magnussen in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Ocon, Sebastian Vettel and Sainz, Perez, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Alonso, Gasly, Ericsson, Stoffel Van Dorn and Brendan Hartley. Stroll and Sergei Sorokin rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, remember to protect the inside on the run down to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible, robust but fair. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. Hitting the energy deployment limit and losing ERS power before the end of the lap. Lower the ERS deployment mode to prevent this. Somewhere on the ICE, be aware that we will start to see a loss of power. to come in at the end of this lap. Exit now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. We're seeing a loss of power from the turbocharger now. Loss of power on the turbo. Is 5.7 seconds. Is in the pits. laps of fuel remaining. Laps of fuel remaining. Is 5.5 seconds. Fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well. reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. This is your final lap of the race. The gap behind us is 4.1 seconds. Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
So another fantastic victory for Haas today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Kevin Magnussen, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Oh, well, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. He was fast, decisive, everything you'd want from a top-class driver.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Haas move further ahead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Force India this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You must be happy with the result today. So talk us through what happened between you and your rival today. There was some contact between you two. What happened out there? Do you have any comments about the collisions? Great! Well, that's everything.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
As you know, your most important rival is generally your teammate. And frankly, you look like you're second best at the moment. That's not a comfortable position for either of us. It's much harder to negotiate on your behalf if you're performing like a number 2 driver.
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Remember to select a driver that you consider your rival from the rivalry screen on the workstation. Performing well against your rival can earn you respect and better terms when it comes to our contract reviews.